Do you ever come home from work or school or errands from your everyday life, and all you want to do is come home and jump into bed onto a nice, fluffy, plush pillow? Well, my name's Chris, and I'm going to show you guys how to make your very own pillow that you can lay on, sleep on, use as decorations for your bedroom, and use in your everyday life. So here's what you're going to need to start your video, or not your video. Here's what you're going to need to make your pillow. You're going to need two fabric swatches. I have two of the same fabric. Excuse me. And you don't all. I have two of the same fabric that I just bought from Walmart. They were 99 cents each, so they are a bargain. You're also going to need, this is optional, of course, a sewing machine. If you don't have access to a sewing machine, or you just don't know how to use one and you're afraid that you're going to mess something up, definitely you can go with needle and thread. That's how I started making pillows, and I've since then, of course, evolved to a sewing machine. This one is a Singer Simple sewing machine, and it was about $140 at Walmart, and I actually bought it online and got it shipped to the store because it was cheaper online. So definitely look online if you are interested in buying a sewing machine. Definitely look online because you can find nice ones online. You're also going to need some fabric shears. Your fabric shears are exceptional to use when doing this project because it just cuts the fabric easier, it doesn't snag, and it makes the cut look crisp and straight and how you want it. You're also going to need pins, and you're also going to need stuffing for your pillow. For this project in particular, I'm going to be using the Ultra Plush Polyfill Supreme, and it is the Ultra Plush brand. It is 100% polyester fiber fill, and I personally like this one just because it gives me the volume in my pillow that I like. And I actually used it on this one, and as you can see, I kind of overstuffed it, but it does give you that nice firm firm, I'm trying to think of the word, the firmness that you would want in a pillow. This is actually a decorative pillow, so I don't really lay on it unless I fall asleep and take a nap. Then I use this, but for the most part I just set this on my bed when my bed is made, and it's just kind of there for decoration purposes. So yes, polyfill or polyester fiber fill is what I use, and this actually was $8 or $8.99 at Walmart. I got all of this stuff actually at Walmart, and I just really like this one just because it is cheaper and it gets the job done, in my opinion. So, but if you don't want to use the Ultra Plush, then definitely go with the brand that you want. But yeah, so to start off your pillow, you're going to want to find two fabric designs, colors that you like. For this one, I am using I'm using the same fabric, and they are music notes because I really like music, and I need a new pillow for my bed, so I am actually going to use this as a decorative pillow. So two fabrics, like I said, these are the same design. What most people do, and what I do also sometimes, is I will use a design and then a neutral color on the back. Like with this one, I bought this at Walmart too, the front one, and I actually had this lying around and I wasn't going to use it for anything else, so I was just like, there's white on this one, we'll put it on this one and we'll call it a day, and I really like it. I ended up making two of these, so it really works. So what you're going to want to do is have your two fabrics laying on top of each other. I have a positive and a negative side, and when I say positive and negative side, I mean, basically what I mean is the positive is the side that you want, like your end product, what it's going to look like when you're finished, and the negative side is what's going to be on the inside. So normally you can tell what the negative side is. If it does have a design on the front, then obviously that's going to be the positive. But most often the negative is going to be the white part that no one will see. So you're going to want to do that, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take your pins and you're going to pin it. I already pinned it actually, you know, to speed up the video. So yeah, you're going to want to pin it, and I actually just used 4 pins on this, on the 2 shorter sides, and 5 on the longer sides. And I actually used 4 on this side, and I'll get into that in just a second. But yeah, so 4, 5, 4 is what I usually do with a 20 by 20 inch, or I don't know the exact measurements for this, but I believe it's like 20 by 10, 20 by 20, who knows. But yeah, and what you're going to actually want to do, and I forgot to mention this, beforehand you can iron it out, because as you can see, I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but there are wrinkles in it from when it was folded onto the cardboard cutout. So you can definitely iron it and, you know, then start this process. But what I normally do, and what a lot of people I know do, is they'll get it sewn up and then they'll just throw it in the dryer with an ice cube, and the steam from the ice and the heat give it like a steam bath, and it takes the wrinkles away really easily. So that's another thing to do, and it saves time as well. So 4, 5, 4 on that. And this side actually only has 4, because what you want to do is you want to leave one side open, so that way you can flip it right side out when you're done sewing, and that way your end product is going to be on the outside and it'll look really nice. And you want to, and I also try to use as very little pins as possible, just because it does take, it's a very tedious process pinning it, and when you start sewing, all the pins just kind of get in the way. For today's project, I am using black thread, just because it does, it contrasts exceptionally with the fabric that I chose, just because it is black and white. So you can definitely use whatever color fabric you want. I know when I first started making pillows, I would use a brighter color thread, just so I can see what I'm doing, and so I can see where the thread is at on my project. So you can definitely keep that in mind too if you want. I'm just gonna sew this real quick so we can get to the fun part, which is filling it. And I always keep my pin box, or a pin like that tomato thing, I always keep that handy, so when you are sewing you can definitely just you know, get those out of the way. So you want to, when you first start sewing, you're going to want to find out where you want your stitch to start. I'm going to start my stitch about right here, so I can leave that open space about that much. There's no correct measurement. It's just kind of however much you want open. So what you're going to want to do, and I did already thread this because it does take a second to thread, and I didn't want to, you know, do a video about threading, because that, or threading the sewing machine, because that does take forever. And I apologize if it's loud. It does tend to get a little bit loud when you are sewing. So keep this handy. And then, you know, your sewing machine is going to have its own instructions on threading and stuff like that. So it does tell you how to thread your own machine. So yeah, let me just sew this up real quick. And this is a very tedious process. So, you know, and I am doing a zigzag stitch. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch it over to just a straight line stitch. So you just want to stitch it real quick, and then once you start using a sewing machine, it's not that hard to get the hang of. I had no sewing machine experience prior to buying mine. I just kind of taught myself, so they are very easy to work with, in my opinion. So let me just get this finished. And the sewing process is very tedious as well. Um, but what I usually do and what I like doing is I'll plug in some headphones. But I'm not going to do that with you guys because that's rude and I'm not going to ignore you. So, yeah, just get it sewn all the way around. And like I said, you can definitely listen to music while you're doing this. You can watch a TV show, just whatever you want to do, because it does take a while when you first start. It can get confusing. So just finish. And it does go by pretty quick. Like, as you can see, I'm already almost on my third side, but you do want to make sure that you are guiding the needle to where you want it to go, and the needle isn't guiding you, because if the needle is guiding you, then that's where a lot of people run into their mistakes, and that's where a lot of projects go wrong. So just, yeah, definitely make sure you are guiding the needle and it's not the other way around. And keep going until you get to that last side. And like I said, and you know, with the pins, that's why I did mention that I don't like using a lot, just because it does get annoying having to go back and forth from taking pins out and stuff. So that part can get pretty frustrating. So I am actually on my last side.